There is one very small sign that many people over 60 often ignore. It is not knee pain, it is not back fatigue, it is not dizziness. It is a very light sound when you walk inside the house, the sound of your foot dragging on the floor. A very small shuffle sound as you step from the living room into the kitchen. One time your toes catch the edge of a rug. One moment when you have to look down at the floor longer than you used to. And you tell yourself, I'm probably just walking more carefully. But sometimes it is not just walking carefully. It may be the first sign of a shuffling gait. What matters is that shuffle gait does not appear in one day. It comes very slowly. Your steps become a little shorter. Your feet lift a little lower. Your body leans a little farther forward. Then one day, you realize you no longer walk across the edge of a rug, a doorway step, or the bathroom floor with the same confidence as before. For many people, walking after 60 is not difficult because they no longer have strength. It is difficult because the body begins to choose a false safe way of walking. Walking more slowly, stepping lower, looking down more often. But that very thing can make the toes more likely to catch on very small objects. Today, we are not going to talk about a complicated exercise, and we are not going to speak like a doctor or specialist. We are only going to look at one very small change in each step, lifting the foot more clearly, letting the heel touch down gently first, also known as heel strike, then rolling through the foot and pushing off with the toes. This is not a promise that you will never fall. But if you are starting to shuffle your feet, this small change can be a very practical part of fall prevention and may help reduce fall risk in the most familiar places: the kitchen, the living room, doorway steps, and the path you walk every day.
Before changing the way you walk, do one very small thing. Don't correct it right away. Don't try to walk beautifully. Just observe. Choose a safe place in the house, beside the kitchen counter, beside a wall, or behind a very sturdy chair. Now take 10 steps the way you walk every day. No need to go fast, no need to tense your body. Just walk normally. Then ask yourself slowly, do you hear your feet dragging lightly on the floor? Do your toes lift clearly? Are your steps shorter than they used to be? Is your body leaning slightly forward? Are your eyes always looking down at the floor? And do your arms stay almost still by your sides? If you notice one or two of these things, don't worry too quickly. It does not mean you are weak. It only shows that your body may be choosing a more cautious way of walking. But here's the point that is easy to miss. Sometimes the way of walking we think is safer actually keeps the feet even closer to the ground. And when the feet are closer to the ground, even a small edge of a rug can become a trap.
So, why does the body begin walking this way? Usually it is not because you are lazy, and it is not because you got old overnight. Many times it begins after one near fall, one time catching the edge of a rug, one small slip in the bathroom, one time standing up too quickly and feeling your body sway. From that moment, the body quietly changes its strategy. It tells you to take shorter steps, lower your feet closer to the ground, look down more often, walk more slowly. It sounds safe, but the problem is that when the foot barely leaves the ground, the toes are much more likely to catch on small things you used to step over naturally: the edge of a rug, a tile gap, a charging cable, a low doorway step. Because the step is too short, the body does not have much time to correct itself when the trip begins. That is the trap of shuffle gait. It makes you think you are protecting yourself, but in reality, it takes away the space your feet need to step safely. So today's change is not about walking faster, and it is not about taking very long steps.
The change is to make each step clearer. And the simplest way to remember it is 4 words: lift, heel, roll, push. Lift the foot, touch with the heel, roll through the foot, then push off. It sounds very small, But for someone who is starting to develop shuffle gait, these 4 steps can change the feeling of the entire walking pattern. First, lift the foot up. Do not drag the toes close to the floor. Do not let your slippers lightly scrape with every step. Then, let the heel touch down first. But remember, this is not about slamming the heel hard into the floor. It is only a light, controlled touch, as if you are telling the body, the foot has arrived, now roll through. Then let the weight move through the sole of the foot. Finally, push gently with the toes to take the next step. You do not need to take long steps, no need to walk fast, no need to prove that you are still strong. Just let each step leave the ground a little more clearly. When the step becomes clearer, the body often stands more upright, the eyes become less fixed on the floor, and you gain a little more time to react to the edge of a rug, a doorway step, or a small object in your path. Before taking this way of walking outside onto the street, practice it in the safest place in your home, with only 6 steps beside the kitchen counter. Stand near the kitchen counter, beside a wall or behind a very sturdy chair. Let one hand lightly touch the support point. Do not grip tightly if you do not need to. Just let the body know that there is a safe place right beside it. Now, stand upright enough. Do not puff your chest out too much. Do not tense your shoulders. Look forward, then begin stepping very slowly. Step 1. Lift the foot. The heel touches down gently. The foot rolls through. The toes push off. Continue like that for 6 steps. No need to take long steps. No need to walk fast. Most importantly, do not drag your toes on the floor. After 6 steps, turn back with small steps. Do not twist your body suddenly. Doing 3 rounds like this is enough. If your home does not have a hallway, that is okay. 3 steps forward, 3 steps back is fine too. What matters is not the distance. What matters is that each step becomes a little clearer than the old one. If you feel dizzy, sharp pain, or unsafe, stop immediately. This exercise is not meant to test your courage. It is only a gentle way to reteach the body. When you walk, lift your foot before the floor has a chance to make you trip. When these 6 steps begin to feel more familiar, the next question is, where do you need to remember this way of walking? The first place is right after you stand up from a chair. Don't stand up and walk right away. Pause for 1 beat. Feel your feet on the floor. Then step. Lift the foot, touch the heel down gently, roll through, push off. The second place is before the edge of a rug, a doorway step, a charging cable, or any small object on the floor. Don't drag your foot over it. See it, slow down, then lift your foot over it. The third place is at night, when you walk from the bed to the bathroom. This is not the time to rush. Turn on the light. Touch the wall or a support point if needed. Then take each step clearly. And there is one more thing many people overlook. Look down at the slippers you are wearing inside the house. Slippers that are too loose, flip-flops, slippery socks, or shoes with soles that are too soft can make it even harder for the feet to feel the floor. After 70, a safe step does not come only from the body. It also comes from the floor, the lighting, the support point, and even the slippers under your feet. But we also need to be honest. Not everyone should correct their walking pattern in the same way. If you are using a cane, walker, or rollator, do not see that as failure. It is a support point that helps keep you safer. The goal is not to give it up right away. The goal is to use it to practice a clearer, slower, steadier step. If you have neuropathy, numb feet, or unclear sensation under the soles of your feet, do not rush to practice barefoot. Prioritize non-slip shoes, a safe floor surface, and always have a support point beside you. If you have foot drop, do not force yourself to land heel first like someone else. What matters more is that your toes do not catch on the floor. And if you have had a stroke, Parkinson's, MS, a knee replacement, a hip replacement, severe back pain, leg length imbalance, or have recently fallen, treat this part as a suggestion to discuss further with the person who is monitoring your health. After 70, the right exercise is not the hardest one.
The right exercise is the one you can do safely today and still want to do again tomorrow.
If you choose the right version for your body, progress will begin to appear in a very quiet way. Not that tomorrow you suddenly walk faster, not that you will stop fearing falls immediately. Progress may simply be you hear your feet dragging on the floor less often. Your toes lift off the ground more clearly. You stand up from a chair and know to pause for one beat before stepping. You step over the edge of a rug more slowly, but more steadily. You do not have to stare down at the floor as much. Maybe one morning, as you walk from the bedroom to the kitchen, you realize, today my steps feel a little clearer. That is something valuable. After 70, the goal is not to prove that you are still as strong as before. The goal is to keep confidence in very ordinary things. Walking inside the house, going out to the mailbox, stepping over a doorway, or walking into the bathroom at night without feeling too worried. Remember the 4 words: lift, heel, roll, push. Lift the foot, touch the heel down gently, roll through the foot, push off. If you have ever shuffled your feet, caught your toes, feared the edge of a rug, or started looking down at the floor more often when walking, comment the word walk below. If you are using a cane, walker, or have neuropathy, foot drop, stroke, Parkinson's, back pain, or a joint replacement, share your condition. Those real questions will help the next videos become more specific, safer, and more suitable for you. A small change in the way you walk will not make you younger overnight, but it can give you a clearer step, a steadier posture, and a little more peace inside your own home.